Hi, I'm Paul from Regalead, and today I'm here to talk you through our urban glazing system. So our urban glazing system comes with an external cassette, which is available in multiple finishes, as you can see here. These finishes are designed to be paintable. Some of them are foiled finishes, and we also do an anodized finish. The internal section is made up of a PVC frame, which is then glazed from the inside of the door with a cosmetic covering cap. First of all, I'll quickly explain the tools that you'll require to glaze an urban cassette. You need VHB tape, which in this case is 2mm thick, a rubber mallet, a screwdriver, a sharp blade, urban screws, which are specifically designed to glaze an urban cassette, a hybrid adhesive or a silicone, a lever, and a hard rubber roller. So for ease of demonstration, I've just got a small section of 44mm door slab. Now 44mm door slab will take a 26mm thick unit. For thicker doors, you can use thicker units, and we can change the screw size on the cassette to accommodate the varying thicknesses. Now, I just want to explain very quickly about the difference between the internal and the external cassette. First of all, the external cassette, you can see, has a rail that runs all the way around the edge, and this is to accommodate the screw. The internal frame is PVC on the inside, and it has an aluminium, in this case anodized cladding, which goes over the top to hide the screws. Now, to remove the cladding off the cassette, the easiest way to remove the cladding is to turn the frame over, put it against a hard surface, and roll the frame off the back. For the moment, I'm going to put this internal piece to one side. I'm going to concentrate on the external piece. So in order to fit the cassette to the door slab, the first thing you need to do is to put the 2mm thick tape on the inside lip of the cassette, and you're just following the rim, and then you are trimming this back. And we're going to repeat this all the way around the internal piece and all the way around the external perimeter. It's important to mention that on the cassette, the top piece of VHB tape goes on first. This is for when it rains, basically. The water comes down on top of the cassette. If that piece of tape is continuous, the water cannot penetrate from this side. So it's important that you do remember that which is the top bit of your cassette and which is the side pieces, and you must follow that process on all the cassettes. On the final joint, when you are trimming the tape back, it's important that you get really, really tight and it's butted up. When you actually remove the liner from this tape, them joints will actually seal together to create a really nice, tight, weatherproof seal. So, first of all, before we put the sealed unit into the cassette, we're just going to remove the liner off all of the VHB tapes. What we then have to do is, in the corners, we need to run a silicone bead over the top of the mitered joint. So if there's going to be any weakness from a respect of water ingression, it's going to be through this joint. Again, it's the belt and braces approach to it. If you apply a very thin bead of silicone over the top and into the corners, you need to repeat that over all four corners, and this will give you a nice weather-tight seal. We can now secure our unit into place. Okay, so during this CNCing process, once the apertures are cut, they're designed to be quite tight around the frame. This makes lining up very easy. So you see that is just a perfect size for the frame to sit into the aperture, and we're now wetting out the adhesive on the VHB tape, and you'll see you'll have some areas of the corner where the silicone flows out. Now, just to ensure that the cassette is firmly in place, use the hard roller just to press out the adhesive on the VHB tape. Okay, so we've glazed this particular cassette using a VHB tape. However, if you did want to glaze using a silicone seal, you would just replace where I've applied the tapes on the internal and the external bit of this cassette. You can actually replace the VHB tapes with a silicone seal. So one thing to note, if you have a slab with grooves, you need to apply just a very small amount of silicone in that area, and you need to do that just to stop any water running from where the actual cassette finishes, flush with the door slab on the flat pieces. You just need to push some silicone into that groove to stop any water ingress. And the final bit on the external side of the door is then just to remove any excess silicone that you may have on the door, which can easily be removed. Okay, so now for glazing the unit from the internal side of the door. So you can see where you have the rails that run all the way around the unit. That is what's going for the screw, is going to go through the PVC frame, and it's going to be caught by this rail. So what we need to do now is, I already removed one part of this cladding earlier. I'm just going to pop that into place. It should go in nice and easily. If this is too tight, you're going to struggle to glaze the cladding afterwards. So you need to make sure that the apertures are cut correctly on the CNC machine. What I normally do is I normally remove two parts of the cladding. And the reason you remove two parts of the cladding, if you see there, the miters are very neat. If you remove them all at once, it becomes very difficult to align everything again. So the easiest thing to do is to remove two sections, screw the two sections down, then you can follow the cladding around, remove the other two pieces, and finish glazing the product. So now I'm going to take the urban screw and gently, I'm not going to go all the way through, I'm just going to catch the rail at this point. Okay, once I've caught the rail and I'm confident that everything is in place, I can then screw the first two sides of the cassette down. Now you don't want to over tighten these screws, because if you over tighten them, what will happen is you'll bow the PVC and it becomes very difficult to put the cladding on afterwards. So you notice that the PVC frame has a lip, and that lip is designed to catch this piece of the aluminium cladding. So when you're actually rolling the cladding back on, the idea is that you push against so that has caught the lip, and then you should just be able to quite easily press the cladding back into place. Now, what I'm going to do now is just to remove the final two pieces of cladding but I'm going to do this one at a time. So I'm going to remove this piece so I can gain easy access to this piece to remove the cladding. Then I'm going to put the cladding back on in the order that I removed it from in the first place. And this will ensure that the mitered joints are nice and neat. And you just hear the cladding click back into place. So now for the final two screws. Then for the last two pieces of cladding. Again, just following the process and making sure that the mitered joints are aligned. And it'll just click into place. The final piece of cladding, you may need a rubber mallet. So again, we are just following the process, making sure that everything's aligned. Now be careful when using a rubber mallet that you don't bruise the cladding, so you need to make sure that you're very gentle and you're hitting only at the corner areas where there's more strength in the product. If you hit in the middle areas, you run the potential of basically dinting the cladding. So final process is to remove the protective foil. This would normally be done just during installation, to be honest, but I just wanted to show you the final joint, the finish. So again, if you glaze the product correctly, you get a nice flush finish. One of the benefits of the urban glazing system is that it is deglazable. If you are required to ever change a unit or for any reason really, whether a unit's broken down, failed, or to change the decorative glass element of that design, it's very, very easy to use just this tool there. You need to make sure you get underneath the frame and just gently pop off the cladding, and you'll hear that'll just click off, and then that can be repositioned. So you repeat the process, remove all the screws, and you can pop the cladding back on like so. I hope you found the video informative. If you require any more information on our urban glazing system, please contact me via email, telephone, or connect with me on LinkedIn.